How are you?
All is well, Ade.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Still saying
I don't know
that.
what. I haven't seen you since the start of the year. I don't know when do we stop saying it? When you
feel
see
like,
someone, right?
Yeah, correct. Like Happy New Year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the States been treating you?
You see, Texas has a whole heap of different weather. You've had snow, rain, and sun.
Oh, so like London?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, right? But remember, we're not seeing much. I'm there working. So it's not like I'm like, yeah, I went here. I went to the basketball game.
I thought you would do that. I thought the idea was to get out there and maybe go and experience those things. Obviously, everyone still knows who you are, but less than in London or Loughborough or Sheffield.
Who was out running the other day?
They knew who you were?
Yeah. Hey, man, pick it up. You got a fight to win.
Oh, okay.
I swear.
Everyone out there is a boxing trainer.
Yeah,
everyone.
But other than that, what can I say? I don't really see much of Texas, to be honest.
Yeah, you will eventually. Fingers crossed.
It's nice though. I've actually started to like the States more and more though. Yeah, so like in my long-term future, I'm not saying I'll move there, but I'll probably like to spend more time outside of the UK. Because there's a whole world out there to see.
Yeah, the States, I always say it's like so many different continents in one country.
Unbelievable.
So there is a lot to see.
Yeah.
April 1st, you're back, O2 Arena.
Yeah.
Let's start with the opponent first. I remember me and you sat down a few months back at the DAZN HQ, and I said certain opponents. I didn't say Jermaine Franklin. When did Jermaine sort of come into the reckoning to be sort of your opponent?
I think when Eddie started offering him millions of pounds if he'd be still in.
That helps. That helps.
I think that's what it was, to be fair. And obviously, I actually rate him. I think he's very talented, you know. I think he's from the same city as like Tony Tubbs.
He is. So he's from boxing stock.
From boxing stock.
He's from boxing stock.
Like, and he's got moves. He's got some skills. Good counter puncher, jabber, hooker, work rate. Don't underestimate the kid.
Was you surprised? We were both there. You were ringside. I was working on the broadcast for the White fight. Was you surprised? Because I was a bit like, I thought White was going to blow him away. And then when I saw him in the ring for the first couple of rounds, I was like, okay, this is going to be a bit of a struggle for White.
Here's the thing. Because White's popular doesn't mean that he's going to win. Popularity doesn't win fights. That's what I keep on telling people, is that it's not a popularity contest. This is a fight. Jermaine Franklin is a fighter. Whether you know of him, that's down to your own research and how much you invest into researching in the business. But in terms of talent, you can't deny a man. If a man turns up in that ring to fight, he's coming to fight you and take your head off. And that's what he tried to do with Dylan. So yeah, whether we expect more from Dylan, I feel like you should not underestimate his opponent. Even though you expect so much from Dylan, let's not put his opponent down here, because his opponent is still worthy enough to step in the ring with him.
That's a difficult discussion, isn't it? Because obviously you've got a lot of casual boxing fans that follow you. Obviously you've got a lot of hardcores as well, but your fan base is built up of a lot of casual fans who won't understand what you've just said there, because they won't know too much about Jermaine Franklin.
But those casuals are just happy to see me fight.
True.
They don't really care who I fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's people that have big expectations that feel like they know so much about the sport that want to complain. Because it's value, this, that. But at the end of the day, like, who did Muhammad Ali fight in his 22nd fight? You can't name it. You just remember his big fights. But in order to get to the big fights, you have to follow a process and a path. And, you know, I'm not saying that Jermaine Franklin I've gone in there and I've beaten him already. No, it's going to be challenging, of course. But God willing, I pass this test, it can lead on to another test and another test that leads to a mega fight that people remember.
That's what they want.
That's what we have to understand in boxing. It's a journey. It's a process.
It is a process. You're back at the O2 Arena as well. It's been a while.
Yeah,
right, Dominant Brazil was the last one, 2016.
Yeah, man.
You've gone all over the world. Stadiums. You've gone different countries, different continents. Is there a feeling of coming back home, or are you just a fighter that fights everywhere now? Everywhere's home.
Yeah. Because the principle remains the same. The principle doesn't remain the same. Do you know what though? It feels like a long time since I last fought. So my goal, obviously, for this year was to begin and to continue. So look at the situation with the Undisputed fight. It's like, I feel sorry for Usyk because he seems to be ready. He wants
dragging on and on.
But that's the business we're in when you get to these title fights and stuff like that. So I just want to kind of get some momentum going again. Do you know what I mean? I think that's so important. So as I said, like, it's nice to have a date set, but imagine us fighting for the Undisputed. It would have been August, and I'll still be waiting for a date now, which isn't good for a fighter. They need momentum, so I'm just happy to get the ball rolling.
I spoke to Eddie. I spoke to Joe Markowski a bit earlier as well, and their plan, and look, it might be separate from your plan, but their plan was like, okay, AJ wants to stay active. In an ideal world, it's 3 fights this year. You know, it's this one. It's potentially, if you come through this one unscathed, no injuries, it's one in the summer, and hopefully one at the end of the year.
That's easy.
Is that your plan? Yeah, that's
I
what
think
you
that's
want.
easy. That's very easy to do. Yeah. But then it's the expectation.
It's been a while, hasn't it, though? It's been a while, right?
Because of the situation, as you said, look at the undisputed one. I know it's probably going to happen soon, but it's nice to have dates set so you can like work towards. And naturally, as humans, we plan ahead. Yeah. So it's like, what's next? So yeah, I think 3 fights is easy, to be honest with you.
Hopefully, don't put pressure on yourself. That's what we all want to see it. Like, I mean, like you say, the fans want to see you more. So if they see you 3 times this year, then I think it's a win-win for everyone. I was watching the press conference and listening, and it was strange. I was saying to my producer that it's weird to see an AJ press conference with no gold at the front. It is. I find it quite. I was like, 1 second, who's holding the belts? Is there an element of relief in a way? I remember hearing Anderson Silva say this.
Did he say that? What did he
when
say?
he lost the UFC middleweight title, it was like, you know what? It's okay. I feel like the pressure's off me a little. I can have fights that I wanted to have rather than always got to defend against mandatories and everyone putting pressure on me. I
feel I always have the same, or even more. I have to take Jermaine Franklin probably more serious than I did Usyk, for example. Not for the fact that I'm comparing, but just for the fact that I now know better. Yeah, because of what I've been through and how I trained, it wasn't enough. So I now know better that I have to put more pressure on myself in order to perform better. So I feel like there's, just as long as I'm going to be fighting, I'm always going to have this level of self-expectation to improve as a fighter. I've
heard the term rebuild being thrown around, and I've had my own opinion on it. I've said I don't think AJ needs a rebuild. I was there ringside for the Usyk fight, and I thought you done fantastically well. Honestly, I thought it was a really, really good fight against arguably the greatest cruiserweight we've ever seen, and an all-time great.
He's slippery. I rate him. I do rate him.
Do you feel like you need a rebuild?
In terms of rebuild, it's probably like Anderson Silva statement is let him have some time to kind of fight without the pressure. Yeah. But let me not forget, this guy Jermaine Franklin is working in the trenches to come in.
You can see he's already leaner.
Imagine me coming in like, no pressure, let me go in there, man, whoop, boom. Do you know what I mean? It's silly of me to come in with that mindset. So I'm not forgetting that this is still a fight at the end of the day. But when we say no pressure, you're probably referring to the name statuses, the name brands of the heavyweight division. Yes. Yeah. But as I said to you earlier, is that just because they're not all name brands don't mean that they still can't perform. Yeah, as we've seen in the heavyweight division, right? There's so many good fighters, so many good fights to be made. A new face, a new member of the team in Derrick James. Yes. Obviously, that camp full of fantastic fighters. It isn't just Charlo and Spence. It's Frank Martin's in the camp as well. Loads of killers there, right? Hungry killers. How did you come about Derrick James? Why him? Why Derrick? Yeah. Everyone wanted to train you. On the search for greatness, really. When you're looking and you pray on it, God will give you whatever you ask for. So thanking God, thanking my direction, my vision, and hopefully it works out. You said you enjoy America as well. You will enjoy America. You've not seen much of it. Yeah. Did he insist that you have to go there and start camp over there as well? Was that part of it? He didn't, you know. Okay. It was just a natural progression. Like, hey, man, it's my gym. All right, cool. Nice gym? It's probably like, nah, it's not. Size of this. No it's disrespect. Yeah, but like, that's what else do you need? That's what I'm saying. You know what you need to do as a fighter? Skip, shadow box, hit the heavy bag, hit the mitts, and spar. But you need to do it with intention and understanding of what you're trying to do. So a lot of the stuff that maybe I was looking for before but he's kind of like, let's strip it back. Let's get back to the basics. And I like that. It's good. Is a win enough April 1st? 100%. I'll be real, because I said earlier is like, I've looked at fights. It is good to compare. But just because you beat someone a certain way and I beat someone a certain way, doesn't mean that you'll beat me a certain way. Because until me and you fight, you don't know what I bring to the table. Styles make fights. So a win for me is enough. I'm not doing it to compete with anyone and have a better win than the last person who fought him or to prove anything to anyone. I just need to do what I can do to my best ability. And that should be enough. This is the question maybe for the bigwigs of DAZN, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How good is it for it not to be on pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's weird. Your fights it feels like for the last 7 years have been pay-per-view for more eyes. Not that you need these eyes on AJ because there always are, but for more eyes on you, it's good that there isn't that pay-per-view element for this one.
It's massive. Well, no, it's not massive like for anyone who doesn't care.
Yeah. For those that do, though, it's
for those that do, it's nice. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day as well, I was only asking for 20 quid to watch me fight. You know what I'm saying? No, I can't ask him I wasn't asking for £100.
Yeah. You know $100 like they do in the States.
That's what I'm trying to say. I was only asking for 20 quid. Do you know what I'm saying? But now, a little subscription, you get me, Katie Taylor, the undercard of this fight. Who else is on DAZN?
You're going to get Bivol, you're going to get
Bivol,
Canelo.
What?
Bam Rodriguez, he want me to go with Callum Smith. I can reel them all off.
Callum Smith. Seriously, that's a good roster. So. And even the shows that are coming up are massive as well. So, and you lot do some fun stuff on DAZN.
We're trying. I think me and you are doing something tomorrow, which should be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you guys tomorrow. So I really do think that, you know, it's value for money, and I understand their vision. It's a product that's changing the game, which is what's going to rustle a couple feathers. But as soon as people get accustomed and understand that it's for the better, I think it's actually a good platform.
It is. Final one. When do you go back to the States?
The minute I'm done with you tomorrow.
Really? You fly immediately?
I'm going to fly. It's tomorrow or Saturday, one of the two.
Yeah.
No later than that.
Good. Enjoy it. Enjoy your time out there. We'll see you April 1st.
Thank you, brother.
Good luck, brother. Thank you.